Okay, so I'm assuming these are the body types. This is your character lineup, the ones on top. Let me see. So if I turn this down. So I see the range, but I'm also paying attention to, again, I would have preferred if you didn't draw any clothes on top because we need to see the character's body. Like, it's the body that's, we haven't gotten to the clothes part yet. Well, in week, this is week 3. Week 4, we'll be dealing with costumes and clothing and all, but for this part, we just need to see the bodies. And so I would have to guess by looking at what you've drawn, what the body is underneath, and also from the references that are under. So for this reference, this character looks like, I think this is Ecto. Please try to avoid this type of reference, especially for this week, this assignment, because we're focused on bodies, no clothing. Like, we don't need to see clothing at all. So it's either the person is wearing like maybe sports gear, or they're partially nude or something like that, or they're wearing like underwears or something like that fits their body so that we can see the shape of the body. This loose clothing doesn't help at all. I can't appreciate the body, to be able to comment on it. This one, we can see the body, so this is fine. This looks like Ecto. This one, I don't see the bodies. Like, this is just complete clothing. I can't see anything. This one, I can see the clothing. I can see his body. This is endo. I see a little bit of muscles there. So it's endo meso. So there's mostly endo. Maybe the endo is like, maybe it's like 90% endo, 10% meso. This one is like purely meso, I think. All right, so let's look at your drawings and how you're able to communicate this. I can't comment on the ones with clothing because this is not, I can't, interpret what you've drawn there. So I'll focus on 1, 2, 3. Number 2, this is interesting. Like, I like how I like what you did with the her shoulder is not what the character has. For me, what I'm looking at when I see this, I'm seeing this shape. I'm seeing more of an angular shape, but you ended up using a circular shape. It's your choice. You're the artist, so you're free to do anything you want to do. But then again, I'm looking at the lineup and whether they stand out from each other, and they actually do. Hi guys. So in the fall of 2025, I got to host an 8-week masterclass titled Ethnic Character Design for Animation, which had a decent number of signups. I got to share a ton of rich information, secrets, industry insights that I used to craft an award-winning character like Noni, Eyes of Wakanda. The sessions were archived and compiled into a digestible course. This course is now available for purchase on Gumroad. So if you are an intermediate level artist seeking to diversify your portfolio to include culturally grounded characters in animation, then this is for you. I think 2 looks very different from the rest of the other characters. So, what I would have suggested is you make this character feel more like a model, because she has like her legs are kind of thick. It'd have been nice if you just like kept it really slim, to stay true to the reference, or at least to give an impression of what the reference is that you used. Yeah, she's supposed to be much skinnier than this. Um, Moving on to number 4, I feel like you missed an opportunity to explore, to show like his how big this body is, like especially his upper body. You know, I think you need to watch the video from the class, because I noticed you are not in the class. It would have been nice if you watched. I'm sure you did, but maybe you need to watch it again so you see how we actually broke down all these forms. Like we really broke everything down. We analyzed it together, like the whole class. We analyzed it together, all these different parts. Okay, what stands out to you when looking at this picture? This is being able to see is very, very important as an artist, and your ability to see will show in the outcome of your work. And for this character whose whose upper body is like this, I was expecting the upper body to also be like that in your drawing, but what I'm seeing is completely different. Like this is a completely different interpretation of the picture. Um, yeah, it's not. So I see this shape you did here. This is a pear shape, right? But his body is not a pear shape. If you look at his body, his body is like his body looks like an arrow, like a mushroom. This is the way his body looks like to me. Look at it very well. His body looks like an arrow, like a mushroom. But what you did is the opposite. Like you made his lower body bigger than his upper body. So the ability to see shapes is very, very important. And I would suggest you go watch the video from the previous class again and try to do these drawings again in your spare time. For the last one, clearly, okay, so you made a good attempt to interpret it here, but the rendition, the final rendition, and I mean, I'm not going to focus on the face because this is not a face class, this is a body, or rather, this was a class, with emphasis on body, not face. So, but looking at the body, I still don't feel like you did justice to it in making it as muscular as the guy in the picture. I made a lot of emphasis on reading the book called Force, Human Anatomy. There's a book, and you don't need to read the whole book, just read from chapter 1 to chapter 4, and you get all the insight from the book. And the whole idea is to be able to use interlocking forces to create a sense of movement. If you look at his deltoid, look at this guy's body. You can see that there is a movement. You can see the movement here. And I can actually see what you did here. It has a little bit of that feeling, but it's not strong and well communicated. Then the way you drew the muscles, like he just did all the packs, his pectoralis, sorry, not pectoralis, his rectus abdominis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 6-pack or 8-pack. You just like threw all those shapes in there. Like you didn't really do justice to the way the shape is. These shapes are they're not just blocks. Like you have to build them in, and then see how he has his this muscle is called what's it called, latissimus dorsi. So he has that muscle is supposed to show there, but yours is not showing. And then his pectoralis, look at how his pectoralis has look at how the shape of the pectoralis. Again, please watch the video of the previous class again so that you understand. I shared a file, a PSD file with all these detailed references inside of. I don't think you watched that. I don't think you watched that class. If you watched that class, you probably would have seen it. I talked about it. I shared the file on Discord with the details of all the with all the references that I gave. I had picture references inside of those PSD files that's with a large, like a wide range of body types. athletic body types inside of that place. And but yet you still, you still didn't like these ones with clothes completely. Like I didn't do any drawing from last week with any character with clothes. I didn't do any drawing like that. Characters were mostly topless or something. So you have to go and watch that again, and hopefully be able to apply them on your own. But the emphasis is on looking at the parts that stand out. I can't even use this character as a reference, because the 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 references that I used for a demonstration in week 3 in the previous class they were carefully selected pictures. Like I carefully selected those pictures. It's not everybody's body that is appealing enough to study. This guy's body is not as appealing to study, so I can't even use him to explain the concepts that I have in mind. But this Yokozuna is perfect, because if you look at the Yokozuna, it's almost like I said, we can really push this upper body and make it smaller if we wanted to, and have a lot more fun with it than you did. Like you didn't do justice to this picture. And my recommendation is to go watch the class again, and hopefully you'd be able to figure it out on your own. So for the Thana character, I'm leaning towards this type of body. I'm leaning towards this one, because Thana is supposed to be like a goddess. Yes, it's written here, goddess. She's middle-aged, she's vengeful, and she's an antagonist. So I'm thinking she has to be lean. This one also works as well. She has to have a lean figure, but then a little bit of like she should have like curves, because she's a goddess, so she should have like curves in her body. She's a combination of ecto and ectomorph. She's slender, like her arms will be slender, maybe her upper body is slender. Upper body slender, but then her lower body will be like endo, so it's like lower body more curvy. So something like that. That's the body type I think works for her. So this one on the right, this one works, but you need to make the hips more prominent, a little bit more prominent. Yep, that's it.